All right, customer says dryer is not working. It's not heating up properly. So first thing I did was check the lint filter. It is clean, so it's not that. So I checked to see if the vent was connected still, and it is. Everything's connected nice and tight. So I had to test it real quick, turned it on, turned it to the max setting. And right here, I'm listening for 2 clicks. You should hear 1 click and then a second click, and then it should ignite. If I didn't hear anything, flow is good, but it's not hot. So first thing you want to do is unplug it, so there's no power to it. All right, we're gonna take off these screws right here that holds the face. Okay, 2 more screws to remove. Once you remove them, the top should just flip over like that, and it'll expose these screws right here. They'll get the top part off, and then some more screws here to get the door off. Make sure you unplug it, and then just move it to the side. Once that is out of the way, you should have enough space to get to the gas valve solenoids. You can remove these screws and get more space if you have bigger hands, but you don't really need to. You can kind of squeeze in there through the drum. So that's the gas valve solenoids. That's what's causing the problem here. It's not heating up. It's not igniting at all. The gas valve is not opening, so we're going to replace those. So I'm going to unplug them first. It's a little tight, so I use a flathead and just kind of pry a little bit. Not too hard. It's just plastic. Once you get that loosened, you can just kind of wiggle out by hand like this. There's going to be 2 screws holding it in. I'm going to use a short stubby ratcheting screwdriver here to get those 2 screws out. Just loosen it mostly and then do the rest by hand so you don't drop those screws. If you drop those, it's going to be a pain in the ass to fish them out again. So a magnet tip screwdriver is appreciated. Remove that bracket and they just slide right out just like this. This is the new part that we're replacing with. Alright, so it just slides in just like that. I recommend doing 1 at a time so you know exactly where they go. But you can't really mix these up. They're 2 different parts, and they can only go in 1 way. But just in case you do, on the bracket here, there's some holes right here that lines up with the little nipples on the solenoids. I'll show you up close here. So you see that nipple right there? The bracket lines up with each solenoid that way. So you can never really mess it up, but in case you do, that's a reference. Alright, once you get those back in there and the screws in, just plug them back in. And the procedure is just reversed now. Just put all those screws back in. Make sure you don't forget to plug anything back in. And I'm just gonna let it roll. You guys already know the procedure. I'm spinning the drum here to make sure it's spinning smoothly. If it is getting restricted or making a weird noise when you spin it by hand like that, the drum is probably misaligned and you have to realign it again. So just screwing everything back in again here. So like I said, I kind of immediately knew that it was a gas valve solenoid because I was waiting to hear those 2 clicks in the beginning. When you start the dryer, you should hear the first click, and then you should hear the second click, and the gas valve should open, and you'll hear it ignite and the flame should turn on. But I didn't hear no clicks at all, so right away I knew it was a gas valve solenoids that needed to be replaced. They're relatively cheap, at least cheaper than a dryer if you can find them. If you can't find them, you most likely have to buy a new dryer. But luckily we found them for this dryer right here, and all that was the issue was just those solenoids. And once we replaced them, everything was running good again. So don't forget those 2 screws on the bottom here too. Alright, once we get everything back in, just plug it back in to have power, turn it on, and turn it to the highest settings, and run it. Alright, so now we're going to listen for those clicks again. Share 1 click, then a second click, and then you should hear the gas open, and it should ignite. So I hear those clicks, so we're good. Alright, going to check to see if it's heating up. Just put your hand on the vent here. And yes, it's heating up and getting good airflow. And it's hot air now this time. So we're good. Everything checks out. Yeah, so just these little gas solenoids here will cause your dryer to not heat up at all. Easy fix. And that's it. Damn, that's nice.